Hey there, badass dream makers. This is the Relationship of Your Dreams podcast. It's Alex, your badass dream maker host. I'm here because I believe that all humans deeply desire and thrive in loving relationships. And let me tell you, it's possible because many do find the love of their dreams and more. I'm just here as a guide to help you through the variety of obstacles and hurdles in dating and relationships so that you can also find the love of your dreams. And you're bound to learn about yourself as well. So, 2-in-1 deal. We will get deep here and you may feel triggered at times. Triggers and discomfort are part of a growth process. However, please use discretion as to how much discomfort you are ready for. Now, let's jump into this juicy episode and get you what you want. Hello, welcome back to the Relationship of Your Dreams podcast. This is Alex, your host. Welcome to all the new listeners. Thank you for coming back to all the regular listeners. I love you all. Today we are going to actually do an emotional freedom technique called EFT tapping. First, I want to talk about a quote that I found in a book that inspired me to do this episode. So I've been reading The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I'm not 100% sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's a self-development, self-growth book that many recommended, and I decided to not read it for a while just because I had so many other books. And then I just kept hearing more and more about it, and I decided to buy it, and I've been reading that. And there's a quote in here that really inspired me. It's a quote that is a little more on the negative side, but definitely eye-opening and led me to a realization that I feel that is an even deeper step than I had thought before. So you've probably heard someone say that you're your own biggest critic or your own worst enemy, and oftentimes we make jokes about that, right? But have you heard of that we are our own biggest abusers? We are our own biggest abusers. Now, when we use the word abuse, that brings a whole other level here. It feels a little more serious and heavy, doesn't it? And the reason why I love the quote I'm about to share with you is because abuse is the level that we should take it at in terms of seriousness. It is serious when we abuse ourselves. It's not a joke. We normalize it. We normalize hurting ourselves. We normalize beating ourselves up. We normalize telling ourselves harsh words or acting against ourselves out of self-rejection. Yet, we normalize it because a lot of us, many of us, all of us experience it. And it's up to us to work on that, to battle that self-abuse that stems from self-rejection. So here is the quote. This quote relates to how it is, like how self-abuse affects your relationships or affects the people that you accept in your life. So here it is. If someone abuses you a little more than you abuse yourself, you will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in the relationship and tolerate it endlessly. I'm going to read it again. If someone abuses you a little more than you abuse yourself, you will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in the relationship and tolerate it endlessly. Now, how many of us have been in relationships where we have continued to tolerate abuse? Probably many of us, right? I have been there. I have been there several times. And I am sure and positive that many people stay in relationships because someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself. Okay. And a point he makes in this book is that this stems from rejecting ourselves. He goes a little deeper than that, but for the sake of this podcast, I want to keep it to that. Sorry if you heard my book. I want to keep it to that this originates and stems from rejecting ourselves. And what's the opposite of rejecting ourselves? It's accepting ourselves, right? And when it comes to accepting ourselves, what do we need to do? We need to love ourselves. We need to love ourselves in order to accept ourselves. So the reason why I want to do emotional freedom technique, EFT tapping, is because we can go through those emotions of not loving ourselves and our self-rejection, self-abuse, and process those. And then after processing those, we can then dive into the opposite, ingraining in our body that we love ourselves, that we accept ourselves. So this process is a mix of processing the negative, allowing ourselves to feel what we feel, and we feel hurt. That is okay. That is part of the human experience. And we need to accept that we feel hurt and that, that we are struggling with this self-rejection and self-abuse. And it's always it's always duality, right? And we also need to learn to love ourselves and accept ourselves and connect to our body when we're trying to ingrain that and embody that. You're trying to embody self-love and self-acceptance, because if we just think about loving ourselves or accepting ourselves in our mind, trying to just do reframing meaning like changing how we say something or think about something to make it more positive, right? We aren't always putting it into our body. And EFT tapping is an acupressure technique that helps people become connected with their body when they're experiencing the physical effects of inner or outer circumstances. And it has a calming and stress-reducing effect on people. And tapping helps eliminate pain and limiting beliefs, emotions, and fear. There's so many things that EFT can help with. And to give you a little more information about EFT tapping without getting into the history, EFT states that the cause of all negative emotions is a disruption of the body's energy system. So there's something in the body that is disrupted, right? So when it comes to the self-rejection and self-abuse, our energy in our body is disrupted. And EFT will balance the energy systems in the body in order to relieve stress, anxiety, or any other issues by tapping on these points, meridian points, to help tune into the emotion, feel it, allow it, and to move through it. Feel it, allow it, and to move through it. And to explain what a meridian point is, meridians are pathways through which subtle energy flows through the physical body. So they're pathways through which subtle energy flows within the physical body. And they're often used they are used in acupuncture. So it's like points on the outside of your body that affect the energy system within your body. And tapping on these meridian points, which are energy centers, helps to balance the system or energy system and lean into acceptance and releasing by becoming present with the negative emotion or the feeling that's occurring. So EFT tapping makes that energy move rather than letting the stagnant energy bog us down. So let that negative energy, that stagnant energy, move. Let's let it move. Clear it. Let's clear it out and bring in the positive energy, the positive emotions of self-love and self-acceptance. All right, I apologize in the quality change in the sound. My microphone just died and I'm not sure why. I am now using a different one, but it's not as great of quality, but bear with me. Thank you for bearing with me. But now that we've described what EFT tapping is and what it involves, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the practice that we'll be going through. And I also want to say you'll be wanting to do this in a place where you can sit and use both of your hands. So we will first start with an affirmation, and we'll be tapping on the side of our hands. And then we will be tapping in a series of 8 different spots on our bodies. So the eyebrows, then the side of eyebrows, under our eyes, under the nose, the chin, collarbone, under the arm, and the top of your head. And at each meridian point, at each location, we're going to tap between 5 and 10 times. So when you tap, you want to tap hard enough where it's a little bit of an ow, not a big ow. You just kind of feel like the energy's moving in that area. You know, you can feel a little bit of the impact in that area, but not even close to the amount that you would need to like bruise yourself. So don't press too hard, but also don't tap too softly, or else it's not going to be moving any of the energy. And at each location, at each meridian point, we will be first, in the first 2 rounds, saying things that have to do with self-rejection and self-abuse. So, aka, like, I am not enough, I reject myself, I don't love myself. And again, this is the part where we're actually processing those heavy negative emotions, those limiting beliefs, that anxiety. And we're going to do that twice. And then after that, you'll be relieved to hear that we will be going through positive affirmations. So on the opposite end, I am enough, I love myself, I accept myself, etc. And I will be repeating the affirmation twice at each spot. So I'm going to, because you can't see me, I'm going to tell you where I am tapping so you can follow along with me and tap with me. After I say the affirmation out loud, you can say it out loud, you can repeat it in your mind, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And then that is it. It's going to take about 5 minutes. Honestly, it's not going to take that long. So here's a little quick exercise, and by the end of it, we will be loving ourselves more, accepting ourselves more, and feeling even better about ourselves. And as we feel better about ourselves, the better we can manifest a relationship where we are respected at the level of how much we love ourselves, and to a level that is healthy and healing and loving. And if you're already in a relationship, this is going to help you receive love more, which is going to make you feel even more accepted and fuller and full of love. So, we ready? Alright, so get into a comfortable position, preferably sitting up, and we're going to start. So you're going to tap on the side of your hand and repeat after me. Even though I reject myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I reject myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I reject myself, I deeply and completely accept myself. Amazing. So now we're going to start the sequence. So above the eyebrows, start tapping. I don't accept myself. I don't accept myself. Side of eyebrows. I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Right under the eye. I'm not lovable. I'm not lovable. Under the nose. I don't love myself. I don't love myself. On the chin. I don't accept myself. I just don't accept myself. On your collarbone, I'm not enough. I'm not enough. Right under your arm, I reject myself. I reject myself. Top of head, I wish I could be enough. I wish I could be enough. All right, take a deep breather. One more time. All right. I'm going to go for our second round of that. So back to the eyebrows, or right above the eyebrows. I hate myself sometimes. I hate myself sometimes. Side of eyebrow. When will I be enough? When will I be enough? Under the eye. I reject myself. I reject myself. Under the nose. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Chin. I reject myself. I reject myself. Collarbone. I don't accept myself. I don't accept myself. Under the arm. When will I love myself? When am I gonna love myself? Top of head. I abuse myself. I abuse myself. All right. Take a deep breather. One more with an audible sigh. Amazing. All right, who is ready for the positive affirmations now after going through all of that? I sure am ready myself, so all right, let's do it. So we're going to go through the same sequence and same thing, repeat after me. And yeah, I'll let you know when it's all over. All right, let's start on the eyebrows, or above the eyebrows. I am secure. I am secure. Side of eyes. I accept myself. I accept myself. Under the eye. I love myself. I really love myself. Under the nose. I treat myself well. I treat myself well. On the chin. I love myself so much. I love myself so much. On the collarbone. I accept myself fully. I accept myself fully. Under the arm. And I will always accept myself. I will always accept myself. Top of head. I love that I accept myself. I love that I accept myself. Alright, that was one sequence. We're going to go through another one of those. Let's take a little deep breath. Amazing. Roll your neck, maybe. Roll your shoulders. Beautiful. All right. Let's start at the eyebrow. I love myself forever. I love myself forever. Side of eyebrows. I accept all of me. I accept all of me. Under the eye. I am perfect as I am. I am perfect as I am. Under the nose. I accept even my flaws. I accept even my flaws. Chin. Because all of me is lovable. All of me is lovable. Collarbone. I accept and love myself. I accept and love myself. Under the arm. There's no way I'd rather be. There's no way I would rather it be. Top of head. I love myself literally so much. I love myself literally so much. Amazing. Give yourself a little hug. Squeeze. Amazing, amazing. All right, you did a great job. I know that EFT tapping can be difficult to go through, and I think that was more than 5 minutes. That was probably closer to 10 minutes. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that after this experience, you've processed some emotions and limiting beliefs around feeling unlovable and abusing yourself and rejecting yourself. And I hope that those have transformed into feelings of love for yourself and thoughts of accepting yourself and believing the possibilities that exist for you, even just being a human, an imperfectly perfect human. Amazing. All right, thank you all for listening. I had a great time. I hope you did as well. I know that we all took something from this. So thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.